Yesterday I made a video about the top 4 best guard builds in the game. I'm going to give you guys the best builds for each position, starting with point guard. Now, hear me out on this one, but the best build for point guard is going to be 6-4 sharp. Now, before you guys think, oh, what are you talking about? This makes no sense. Why can't you just use 6-6 sharp or 6-6 initiator? Just hear me out. 6-6 sharp gets 78 speed. 6-4 sharp gets 84 speed without boost. With boost, this is a 90. This is a 86, right? And with that, you get a 93 pointer. You may be wondering, why would I take 93 pointer over a 99 3-pointer? The defense is different. It's a little lower. I think 6-6 sharp gets 87, if I'm not wrong. I think it's 87 to 92, something like that. The speed trade-off is worth it. Now, I was gonna keep this build in the vault, but why gatekeep when I could just give you guys the information, right? Because I know people are new to the game. They're wondering what builds to make. I think 6-4 sharp is the way to go. I mean, you could always use 6-6 sharp if you want to, but I think 6-4 sharp is the best point guard build in the game. Because you're gonna use the same badges anyway. The build is just a little faster, and if you think the build can't shoot, just put shooting boost on it, and it'll have 96.3, 97 mid-range with diamond deep. Or you could run speed boost, have 90 speed, 93, which I think is the better way to go. That's what I do. I run 90 speed, 93 point. You're way faster than a 6-6 sharp, and you defend the same as a 6-6 sharp. There's literally, the only downside is that you don't have 993. But 96 to 99, not much of a difference, right? The next build, so the best build for shooting guards is going to be 6-6 sharp. It's probably pretty obvious. There's no downside to 6-6 sharp besides the speed, but you could always run speed boost. So 993, 99 mid-range, 92 perimeter, 80 speed, around like 84 with boost. There's no downside to this build. It could guard every position in the game. It's the best shooting build in the game. It's pretty slow, but speed boost makes up for it. And the badges, if you want more defense, just run late contender. You're gonna run diamond deep, diamond tough shots. Self-explanatory. This is arguably the best build in the game, but for shooting guards, this is the build for you, since it's basically a demigod. Right. So for small forwards, the best build that I found was 6'10" team player. Now, this build is basically a jack of all trades. It has 80 speed. Now, this is faster than some guard builds, so that's good. And if you run speed boost, 86 speed, 81 speed with boost, faster than the guard. 90 driving dunk, 80 driving layup, 85 close shot, 73 pointer. If you run boost on it, 75, and 80 perimeter defense. I'm about to grind this build, I'm not gonna lie. I'm about to give this build to one of my forwards for them to use. I actually didn't see this build until recently, but nobody's using this build. So if you like running forward, you're looking for a good forward build, I think this build is good for you. For this, probably run brick wall. I'm gonna run your shooting badges, deep range, tough shots, maybe silver or gold focus, silver or gold rhythm, maybe a little defensive badges here and there. But overall, I think this is the best small forward build. Since 6'10", I'm pretty sure 6'10" is the only height that's viable for forwards. And there's really no reason for you to go shorter than 6'10", since 6'10" forwards literally can do everything for some reason. It's basically the 6'6" sharp version, but for forwards. It's a good build. You may find a better build if you run other takeovers, but for small forwards, I think this is the best one. For power forwards, you're gonna want to go 6'10" sharp. So although you do have 70 speed, the build is kind of slow, but you have 82 3-pointer, 88 mid-range, 83 inside, 83 perimeter. Now, I was told that 6'10" sharp can't play defense, but this is not the case at all, as you can see with the stats. 83 perimeter defense is pretty good, and I'm pretty sure this is more than most, if not all, of the the defensive forward stats. I think the only one that has more than this would be the 6'10" lock, but it's a lockdown build, so it should have more defense than this. But with boost, this would have 83 and about 94 mid-range. But you'd probably run speed boost on this build, since the speed is only a 70. And for this build, you're not going to be wanting to shoot contesteds very much, since your 3-point isn't that high. So for badges, you would invest in mostly offensive badges, since this build isn't really for playing defense, since this is a sharp take forward. You're going to mainly want to put maybe some finishing and shooting badges like deep, tough shots, maybe silver focus. On this build, you should run post technician. Although it did get nerfed a few times now, it's still good. It would always be good. And on a forward, post technician is needed, especially if you're in an ISO situation. And I'm pretty sure it's impossible to ISO without post tech on a forward. After you get the bull by, you see here you have 89 drop me dunk. That's a wide dunk every time. This build's very good. The only thing I think that would come close would be the 6'10" aggressor, but the 6'10" aggressor has way worse shooting, but it does have better speed. But the defense stats are the same. So if you want to try out the 6'10" aggressor, look at it for yourself. You'll probably like this build better, since it could shoot really well, defend well, and it could dunk 90 dunk. That's very good, especially for a forward. And if you don't like the speed, just run speed boost. Alright, last but not least, the best center build is 7-4 team player. Now, in this RB, inside bigs aren't really, you're not gonna see many inside bigs. I'd say many would probably run the 6'10" sharp, since screens aren't that good in this RB. I'd say defense is much better than it should be. Defense does need a little bit of a nerf, but screens also do need a buff, since you can basically just walk around screens without getting touched by them at all. So that's why if you're playing a rec game, or if you're going to play league in the future, you may not see many inside bigs as you should. But this build is very good. 92 inside defense, 60 perimeter, 94 block. You should get 99, but it's 94. This build can't shoot outside the arc, but it can shoot wide open mid ranges, as you see here with the 60 mid range. 97 standing dunk, 91 driving dunk, 95 close shot. There's not any inside big that comes close to this build. This is the tallest build in the game, and it's above 90 in all the inside scoring attributes. This build can't be stopped in the paint, especially if you're running maybe posterizer. Let's just put diamond for now, posterizer and enforcer, and post tech. These three badges with offensive stats can't be stopped, because if your defender jumps with you, even if you're running silver posterizer, they're going to get posterized every time. You're barely going to get blocked on this build, especially since even if they don't jump with you, you're probably going to make it every time, since if you just run consistent finisher, every time you make a layup or a dunk, your percentage goes up. This build is very nice. This is the build that my big man runs on my league team. If you're an upcoming big man, maybe you're new to the game, you want a big man build, this is the build for you. You could try to experiment for yourself, but I honestly think that this is the best big man build in the game. If you want a center that can shoot, then 7-1 sharp would be the way to go. The speed doesn't change from 7 foot to 7'2", so I'd rather you go shorter so you have more shooting. So you have a 73 3-pointer with boost 79, 81 mid-range with boost 87, 80 inside defense, 80 post moves, so you should be running post tech in case you have an ISO. It can score in the paint, 83 close shot, 80 driving dunk, 86 standing dunk. I think you should only use this build if you want a center that can shoot. If not, you should use a taller forward like the 6'10 sharp. This build is strictly for if you don't want an inside center. I did see a few people run this build, well maybe not 7'1", they probably run 7 foot or 7'2", but I think this is the sweet spot since you do have 73 3-pointer and the speed doesn't change anyway, so might as well go shorter so you have a little more shooting. And that will be the end of this video. Let me know if I got all the builds right, or let me know if I left anything out. I don't think that I left anything out, since especially for the guard builds, since 6'6 sharp is arguably the best build by far. I think it's there's a gap in it too. 6'6 sharp can honestly do everything, so there's no reason why you shouldn't use it. I mean, besides the 6'4 sharp that I gave, there's no real reason why you should be using any other guard build except for the 6'6 sharp. For the forwards and centers, there's not really much that you could do with those positions, since 6'10 and 7'4 like the only viable heights for forward and center. So there's not much variety that you can have with that. I did try to find like a good underground forward and center build, but I couldn't find anything. But if I do, I'll put it down in the comments saying I'll give you the height, weight, takeover, and the stats and badges that you should put into. But I don't think I will, because I honestly don't think there's anything other than the builds that I gave today. Alright, I will see you guys in the next one.